Hello, hello, and welcome back to Smoke Room. That's what we're playing.
Sam, Sham sure is invested in the Bible. You'd think he sucked off enough men and to be put off by all the bitching about adultery, but he keeps getting wrapped up in all of the metaphysics. I know why he's mad at Todd. Todd believes in love, affectionate God, believes in a loving, affectionate God. Sam believes in a wrathful God. It's like he wants there to be something real that he can be afraid of. All right. I think that's enough church for me today. Downtown is always so wide open when I go there. The wind picks up between the tall buildings and makes the wooden shutters rattle. Is the closest reminder of my city, other than the bars after dark. Bars always have the same stinking smell, no matter where you are in the world. I expected to run into Judge Miller or the clerk, Chrissy Smalls, or somebody filling for their liquor license. Filing, yeah. Oh, we get to see him now? Oh, shit. Is he gonna have portraits at the beginning of the game now? You know what I mean? Like, I'm readjusting. But what I see instead is Reed Morris. He's kind of cute, you know. He's got that scruffy thing going for him. Yeah. You stop right there, Reed. Oh God, fucking damn it! I have some questions for you. I don't have time for your flea-bitten ass today. That's not how this works. Keep your hands where I can see them and don't make a scene. Why? Am I under arrest for the 50th fucking time? I guess it depends. It'll be just like old times. We're used to each other by now. You gonna feel me up like a fucking faggot and strip me of all my rights again? You're the one who's thinking that, not me. Go ruin somebody else's day, you ugly son of a bitch. Cut the shit. Did you break into Mr. Tippett's apartment last night or not? He looks guilty. That's a whole lot more than that. So you're not even trying to lie about it. That fucking fruit did something to Huxley. I goddamn know that he did it. And what if he didn't, Reed? You just went off and beat his door down like a goddamn lunatic. He started some shit, he got his ass beat, and he took revenge on my friend. And I'm sure as hell not gonna trust some shady ass to lift a finger over it, because you don't even like me in the first place. I need you to stop talking for a few minutes and start listening. Some kid tried to shoot up my office 2 nights ago using Huxley's pistol. His revolver? He pawned it. Nobody could have bought it. Anybody could have bought it. Not a 15-year-old without a job or a parent. Sales records indicate he bought it back. Now he's sweating. According to Reed, Huxley's gun was pawned. Sales records indicate Huxley repurchased it. That's a hell of a lot of evidence that could imply that the two of you for attempted murder, damaging government property, and endangering the lives of 2 officers. Hell, there's more than enough to string you up.
We didn't do none of that.
I don't think you did either, you dumbass. He blinks and looks confused. Breaking and entering is unacceptable, and he will pay for the crime in time. But just talk to me for a bit, and I'll have it so you won't have to spend the rest of the day in jail.
Okay, shoot.
Did you pawn the gun in the first place?
Did he pawn the gun in the first place? He was having money trouble.
And why's that?
A man with troubles has got a drink.
Huxley was an alcoholic who needed more money for his drinking habit. I wonder where he was getting the cash.
Yeah.
A little too much, maybe.
That's rich, based on what I hear about you.
I can afford my drinks, Reed. What made him live beyond his means?
He has problems.
Had problems, but I don't think you can handle that yet. I know. I saw what his problems did to Marcy.
What? You think she doesn't like it in that way too?
His greasy fur bends into a slow, crackling smile, and his eyes wrinkle. His moldy cotton smell reminds me of how my father smelled at his wake, and it makes me want to puke a bit.
But now I think about it, he was acting different lately.
Different how?
Longer hours at the bank. Sounded paranoid.
Of Mr. Tibbets?
No, Tibbets just made him laugh. He wasn't scared at all of that mouthy little fairy.
Now that's something troubling. Like he's starting to get it.
He kept talking about buying back that pistol, like he was gonna need it to defend himself soon. But I thought he hadn't yet.
This was after you both had your quarrel with Mr. Tibbets.
No, this was happening before.
So who would have an eye on the gun?
Marcy would know where he hid it. He always kept it close to her. Marcy would know what happened to the gun. Okay.
Of course he did. So maybe a chat with Marcy would have been a little smarter than tearing down Mr. Tibbets' apartment then, huh?
May I go now?
Surely. Sure, but I don't have to see you 100 yards within the Stout, or we're gonna have, ourselves a more, punctual problem.
I don't give a damn if he, didn't take the gun. But if Marcy says that he did take it, I'll kill him.
To ask somebody to shoot at him?
Maybe.
Brilliant. That would have made a lot more sense.
I'll find out soon enough anyway.
He turns away and walks stiffly into the alley. Don't think I won't come looking for you later when it's time to pay repair costs for that apartment. He flips me the bird. What a living waste of space if I ever saw one. But at least I know who to visit later. Marcy Green might be the key to all of this after all, even if her husband played no part in killing and trying to kill somebody. Maybe Huxley thinks he was acting paranoid when he brought back the gun. But considering his current state, it sounds like he was right on the right to be afraid. But who's strong enough to rip a head clean off of the body? That's just another question for later. Town Hall is predictably empty on a Monday. Town meetings are on Saturdays, and that's when people tend to pick up their licenses.
Isn't this the Burns house theme? Huh. Kind of a weird place to use it, but you know. It is what it is.
Chrissy isn't at the reception right now, but I've been through these halls so much I don't need to wait for her.
Well, goodness gracious, if it isn't my favorite public servant. Hendrix is usually up to something. Worst thing is, it's probably not illegal. Yes, let's just have both these songs playing at the same time. It's gonna be great.
So that's why Franz called today. Shaking the mayor down for favors again.
Well, what else is a mayor good for anyway? He's very grateful to have more things to do. Besides, bearing fangs is more your line of work, is it not?
Only when I have to.
Of course, of course. You've had ample time to practice burying your guilt.
I'm not talking to you because I want to make merry and exchange quips. I know something that could help you, and I'm willing to trade information.
Well, why didn't you say so? And here I thought you were just talking to me to pout about the ex-wife.
Oh, we'll be having a talk about that, too.
Then why not move this conversation to the city library? It's the perfect place for sharing information for men with noble character.
I still have to talk to the mayor. James rolls his eyes.
He's always available.
And so are you.
Now there's a private fantasy. Since you have such a great sense of humor, I'll make sure to dally at the library so that you can catch me there. Feel free to speak with the mayor first if you insist. Until then, Sheriff.
I could follow up on James's offer, but then again, I'm already here.
Why is there so many choices in this? That has me concerned about things. But you know what? I want to talk to James. Because he's a fun guy. Who was the mayor again? We're talking to James.
Information shared among noble souls. And here where I thought we were a couple of bastards. At least I can understand that. Pitiful. The library is big and it's pretty underutilized. Because, well, let's face it, not a lot of people here like to read. Which I can't entirely get, considering how little there is to do. It doesn't take me long to find him. He's reading a newer book by the looks of it.
Dubliners by James Joyce.
His bodyguards were sitting in a corner, flipping through magazines. Let's keep this quick.
Don't act so suburban, Mr. Adler. There's a treasure trove of knowledge all around you. Enjoy yourself.
Not interested. You really did bring Hattie here. Why?
My, you're so accusatory.
That's because I'm accusing you of something.
You're wrong, too, you know.
He flipped a page to the beginning of another short story.
Rappy? She's the one who reached out to me, not the other way around. I only did for her what I did for you. She just needed some money to stay on her feet, to orient herself in someplace new.
How generous of you.
I am generous.
When it's convenient for me, sure. Why do you tell her where I live?
Now that I can't talk about.
Did your generosity suddenly run dry?
No. I simply don't know.
Horseshit!
Why would I need to lie? I genuinely don't know. And that's going to put you in the most amusing little tizzy. But how about granting me some of your generosity now? Share.
I guess you'll have to ask yourself why somebody would try to assassinate one of your business associates. He lifted an eyebrow.
Which?
Little fella who goes by the name of Clifford Tibbets. He hummed.
Well, that's no good at all. He's such a card, and much more fun than you. What kind of cad would put their hand on such a delightful boy? I'll have to keep a much closer eye on him from now on.
I could help you with that.
Your stalwart sense of justice really is invigorating.
I always knew deep down that you liked me.
Oh, that's not, yeah. I always knew deep down that you liked me.
It takes a lot of willpower not to rip that book out of his hands and beat him with it. So help me understand.
Well, let's see. As is typical of your older workhorses, too many of them tend to keep very old-fashioned ideas. They might not approve of a foreigner in a in a higher-ranking consultation position. Particularly the men closest to my most important business partner, Mr. Briggs.
And do you have the names of these men?
Not really. There's simply too many, and they're all very close-minded. But it shouldn't be too complicated to pick them out of a crowd. They tend to smell like raw earth, after all.
He snaps his book shut. Could a GCCS employee place a hit on Cliff, or was it somebody else?
If it wasn't one of them, then I'm out of ideas. Then again, that one does have a bleeding heart. I wouldn't be surprised if he spilled his guts out to some savage and they took it the wrong way.
You stop speaking. Now.
Yeah, stop. Okay. Oh, don't be so sensitive, Adler. I'm not a monster. My grandfather. I don't begrudge you for the primal blood on your mother's side. In fact, I think you're the best of the two worlds. The raw and the refined.
I see a pebble on the table. I pick it up, then flick it at his cheek.
Oh, what the fuck? Am I bleeding?
Oh, damn. He is. Hope it stings, you son of a bitch. His guards rush over, but he puts up his hands to make them go away. He smiles really big at me.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about.
He waves at me with his bloody hand.
Until next time.
Always an affable time. It doesn't take long for James and his men to cut out of the library. Made James bleed was funny. I never much cared for Joyce. Where's the Baroness Orcus when you need her? So there are people who've been motivated, who have a motive to hurt Mr. Tibbets.
Talk to Mayor.
Let's get this over with then. I step into Testerman's office. A big rat is peeking away at his typewriter, but he stands when he sees me.
Well, it's about time, Adler.
There were some road bumps on the way, but I'm here.
Hendricks is threatening to cut all sorts of donation money if we don't set this right fast.
I start laughing.
What in the Lord's name is funny about that?
Let's start with the essentials. The mining operation continues to place blame on CGCS management for the death of their particular miner. Tension is calm on the surface, but resentment brews below. Deputy Bronson found another dead body last night. His expression changes from one of anxiety to one of sheer panic.
Another miner?
No. This one's of anger. A sigh of relief washes over him.
So this wasn't related to the other case, then?
A man is still dead, Mr. Testerman. He starts mumbling to himself.
Well, sometimes it can't be helped. Men take all sorts of risks to make it out of here, and not everybody can. There are fights and freak accidents, hasty decisions accompanying immoral acts.
His head was ripped off.
Oh, so probably an animal.
Could be.
Now I feel a little better. A lot better. A lot.
Are you sure that you should? I didn't say that it was an animal for certain.
Do any of your discoveries call for the state of emergency evacuation?
I wouldn't say so. Unless this death isn't an isolated incident. I have reasonable suspicion to think that it was linked to a targeted attack on one of the CGCS employees.
But you have some suspicions. Not proof. That's what you said, right?
That would be right. But odds are...
I think it would be kind not to sensationalize a tragedy.
He looks into my eyes as if he's looking for approval for what he's about to say.
Wouldn't it?
I think that should always be a priority. But what I'm telling you is that what it isn't any over. And it probably ain't isolated for CGCS affairs. So you might want to prepare a statement ahead of time if things go to hell in a handbasket and you don't want to be caught with your britches down.
I think I would prefer to be optimistic about the future, Mr. Adler. And just keep me informed about the present, okay?
Okay, then. There are plenty of,
excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Oh, jeez.
There are, presently some sign of very clear scandals at the company that will make their way to the surface soon.
That company is our town's life and blood, Adler.
Well, that's fine, but ignoring it won't make it all go away.
But it isn't your job to prevent a state of panic. But isn't it your job to prevent a state of panic? Okay.
I'm saying that if all of these problems go back to CGCS management, then the panic is just going to keep coming back like clockwork.
But you need proof before you can ban Lee about these claims.
I swear to God, this man is as thick as a pig shit. I didn't make claims. I shared suspicions. Let me make something very clear to you, Franz Testerman. I don't work for you. But if you ask me for help and aren't willing to take it, there's not much I can do for you. I do think this could lead to a public crisis. So I think you should prepare for that.
And I'm telling you something, Mr. Adler. I will say it once. I will say it 100 times over. I must see the evidence before I am swayed to act. Why is that so hard for you to accept?
The more I look into the man's eyes, the more I know he has no interest in evidence. He'll see what he wants to see when he needs it to be true. Do you already have the contingency plan in place for evacuating a population of over 6,000 then?
There's precedents in places if such needs arrive.
And you've practiced them.
Once again, I will not disrupt daily routine on the basis of an assertion.
All right, this is going nowhere. Then let's conclude this meeting. I turn around and put my hand on the knob.
Wait!
Yes.
Do you really think things are that bad?
Yes. He wipes his brow with his kerchief.
I could review the evacuation plans. But quietly, and without getting the public involved. But, just as a backup plan, I still have no intention of officiating an evacuation.
That's what I've been saying, Mr. Testament. That's better than nothing. I have to go now.
You'll keep me updated, then.
I'll call if it's important. What a headache. I think I've learned all that I could. That's just enough. That's just about enough of this place for now.
Okay. William's been away for a while now. Huh. I guess we're back to Sammy boy. So I'll end the part here, I think. Yeah, that sounds alright. I'll see you around, everyone.